Hello everyone, it is Jazz here. Today I am doing my January reading wrap-up as well as my February to be read. I have 3 books that I read in January to talk about, so let's just jump right in. The first book that I completed in the month of January was City of Fallen Angels, the 4th book in the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. So because it's the 4th book, I can't really summarize it without spoiling the previous 3 books. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what I thought of the 4th book in general. I highly enjoyed reading City of Fallen Angels. Like the other books in the series, it had a lot of action and twists and turns and surprises. So far, what I'm liking about this series is that the first 3 books are kind of their own self-contained story, and then it seems like 4 through 6 are going to be their own kind of self-contained story. While like different things carry out through the series, the 4th book has started sort of a new plot and some new ideas that are just really interesting. I think that's a great idea because sometimes personally I get a little burnt out when the series is longer than 3 books, and so this kind of makes it something new to read, something exciting, some new characters to look at and things like that, which makes me want to keep reading the series and finding out new things. This book kind of brought forward characters that were really side characters in previous books and kind of made them more involved in the story or more like main characters, which was very cool. You're getting to see new motivations for the characters that maybe you didn't get to look at as closely in this. I also really liked that if you're somebody who's reading the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices series in publishing order like I am, this book is the one where you really start to see how certain things from the Infernal Devices first book are starting to tie into the Mortal Instruments series. So it's really a cool connection how that's developing. This is like high on my favorites list in terms of what I've read of the series, which is just up to this book. I've loved them all, but I've really loved, for some reason, particularly the 2nd book and the 4th book, like the best for some reason. I gave City of Fallen Angels 5 stars. The next book I completed was a reread of Season of Mist, which is the 4th book in the Sandman series by Neil Gaiman. It's a graphic novel, as you can see. I guess it was just all about the 4th book in a series kind of thing in the month of January. The best summary I can think of for this is that Dream, the main character, takes his 2nd trip to literal hell and insanity proceeds to ensue. Well, I'm so glad that I'm rereading books 1 through 6 over again before reading 7 through 10 for the first time, because I remembered nothing about this book, like literally 0. There was definitely a total element of surprise. That's how much I had forgotten. Like all of the Sandman graphic novels, I feel like the art is really excellent in this, and I also feel like the story arc of this one is particularly interesting and very different, and you get to see some new different things about how the world works in this graphic novel. This series is always sort of a dark type of series, so if you're looking for something lighthearted, it's probably not the graphic novel series for you. But if you don't mind something being slightly dark and a little foreboding, this series is a really good pick. I will say that this might not be my favorite graphic novel out of all the Sandman books that I've read, but I still think the storyline is really excellent and well structured and very interesting and made me want to continue to read, even though I'd read it before, but like I said, I forgot it. So I gave it 4.5 stars, but I rounded it up to 5 on Goodreads. It's still really enjoyable and very fun and dark and creepy to read. The last book that I completed in January was The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer. This is about a woman who used to work for a very secret sect of the government. It's so secret, in fact, that it has no name. The reason she doesn't work for this government agency anymore is that she found something out, she doesn't even know what, and suddenly they started trying to kill her. So she is on the run, and she has a very particular skill set, as you can tell by the title. She is medically trained and is really good at developing different sort of drugs, and she kind of uses that skill to her advantage. I feel like I don't want to give you too much about what the plot entails, because I feel like the less you know, the more fun the book ends up being. For the most part, I did really enjoy reading The Chemist. I didn't fall in love with it, but I definitely really enjoyed it and liked it and had fun reading it. The front of it, you kind of have to have patience with. First of all, because I personally, and I don't know if anybody else that read this book had this experience, opened it and was like, wait, it's written in third person. Whereas most of Stephenie Meyer's books are in first person, so I kind of had to like reset my brain on what I was thinking with that. Also, the main character is on the run, so she does change her name a lot. The way she kind of gives information to you, you kind of have to like let the information come to you and not try to figure out what's happening. I think if you want to know what's happening right at the front, that's not going to happen. But it doesn't take long, maybe 3 or 4 chapters, till, you know, things start to clarify and things like that. The only thing that I would kind of say in the front of the book is that some of the writing maybe wasn't as smooth as I would have liked, but it didn't like keep me from wanting to continue the book. And once you got more than one character going on, you got the like typical Stephenie Meyer dialogue that we all know and love if you like her writing, the, you know, sarcastic humor and all that stuff, things really did start to smooth out in terms of the way the writing was flowing. As 1 or 2 predictable plot twist. But if you're just in like a relaxed mood to sit and read something that's just fun and interesting and has a lot of action and shooting up people and like a little bit of romance in there, this book does have that with some snappy dialogue. So I can say that I truly had like a really good time reading this book. I didn't love it like I did some of her other books, but I still had a lot of fun reading it, so I decided to give it 4 stars. On to my TBR for the month of February. Now, it's going into February, and I have not yet picked up any of the books that I wanted to read in 2017 from my 2017 to be read list, so I'm definitely going to try to read a few of those. In the month of February, Neil Gaiman's book, Norse Mythology, comes out. I pre-ordered it. I'm going to hopefully get that the day it comes out, and I'm going to try to read it right away if I can. Then I'm going to pick up Christopher Moore's Fool, which I have started the first chapter, and it has been really quite amusing. So I'm thinking it will be rather a quick read. If I could squeeze it in and I have a little bit of extra reading time, I'm going to try to start Anne of the Island by Ellen Montgomery. Trying to get on with my reread of Anne of Green Gables stuff because it's awesome. And last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and start Clockwork Prince, which is the second book in the Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare. That was my January wrap-up as well as my February to be read, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you all on Sunday. As usual, thank you for watching. Bye!